Nermina Samardzik was once like any of us, an ordinary woman living an ordinary life. But her life took an unimaginable turn.
I became the target of something I couldn't understand. An unrelenting assault on my well-being began.
This is Nermina's story, a story of invisible attacks and the courage to speak out. The more Nermina learned, the more terrified she became. Electromagnetic harassment, a terrifying concept, became her reality. She discovered a world of invisible weapons, of infrasound and microwave attacks, capable of inflicting pain and manipulating the human body. This was not science fiction, but a chilling reality. Infrasound, sound waves below the range of human hearing, can cause a range of debilitating effects. Nausea, dizziness, disorientation, even organ damage. Microwave weapons, on the other hand, can heat up body tissue, causing burns and internal injuries. These weapons, often developed for military purposes, have the potential for horrific abuse. Nermina's research uncovered a history shrouded in secrecy. Governments and intelligence agencies had long been interested in the potential of these weapons for surveillance, interrogation, and even torture. The thought that such technology could be used against innocent civilians was chilling. Nermina began to meticulously document her experiences. She recorded the strange sounds she heard, the burning sensations on her skin, the debilitating headaches and nausea. She kept a detailed journal of her symptoms, noting the times and durations of the attacks. She was building a case, a desperate plea for someone to believe her. Life as Nermina knew it was gone. She became a prisoner in her own home, her world shrinking to the confines of her apartment. The constant fear of attack, the unpredictable nature of the assault, left her feeling vulnerable and alone. Every day was a struggle to maintain some semblance of normalcy. The attacks were relentless, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There was no escape. Sleep offered no respite. Her dreams invaded by the same terrifying sensations. The constant bombardment took a toll on her physical and mental health. Her weight plummeted, her hair began to fall out. The psychological torture was equally unbearable. The constant fear, the lack of sleep, the feeling of being watched and controlled pushed her to the brink. Isolation became her only defense, her only way to cope with the constant barrage of invisible attacks. Nermina's story is not unique. Thousands of people around the world claim to be victims of similar attacks. Yet their claims are often dismissed, their suffering ignored. The invisible nature of these weapons makes it difficult to prove, and the stigma surrounding mental illness often prevents victims from coming forward. This documentary is Nermina's plea for help, a desperate call for recognition and justice. It is a call to action for authorities to take these claims seriously. This is not just about Nermina, but about countless others who suffer in silence. There is a growing body of evidence suggesting nefarious purposes. Scientists and officials have voiced concerns about potential abuse. The world needs to wake up to this silent epidemic. Nermina's case is a chance for justice to prevail. An independent investigation is crucial. The world is watching. The fight for justice has just begun. This is a fight for our right to safety, free from fear. This is Nermina's story, but it could be anyone's story.
We must stand together and demand action. It is time for the international community to recognize this issue.
The call for recognition and justice is loud and clear. Will the world listen? The world is filled with sound, a symphony of vibrations that we perceive as music, language, and noise. But what about the sounds we can't hear? This is the realm of infrasound, a world of inaudible power with the potential to both heal and harm. Scientists have long been aware of its existence, studying its natural sources, from earthquakes and volcanic eruptions to the calls of whales and elephants. However, the same properties that made infrasound potentially beneficial also made it a potential weapon. The ability to induce discomfort, disorientation, and even physical harm with sound waves that could not be heard was a tantalizing prospect for military and security agencies. The development of infrasound weapons was shrouded in secrecy, with rumors and speculation swirling around their existence and capabilities. Some reports suggested that infrasound could be used to incapacitate large groups of people, causing nausea, vomiting, and even internal organ damage. One of the most concerning aspects of infrasound weapons is their potential for psychological manipulation. Studies have shown that exposure to certain frequencies of infrasound can induce feelings of fear, anxiety, and paranoia. This has led to concerns that such weapons could be used for interrogation or torture. Despite the secrecy surrounding infrasound weapons, there is growing evidence to suggest that they have been developed and even deployed in various conflicts and situations. Victims of suspected infrasound attacks often report a range of debilitating symptoms, including headaches, nausea, dizziness, and difficulty concentrating. To understand the potential impact of infrasound on the human body, it's important to understand the concept of resonance. Every object has a natural frequency at which it vibrates. When exposed to sound waves at or near this frequency, the object will begin to vibrate with increasing amplitude, a phenomenon known as resonance.
The human body is no exception to the laws of physics. Our organs, tissues, and even our bones have natural resonant frequencies. When exposed to infrasound at these frequencies, specific parts of our body can begin to vibrate, potentially causing discomfort, pain, or even damage.
The effects of infrasound can vary depending on the frequency, intensity, and duration of exposure. Low-frequency infrasound below 20 Hz is often felt as a physical sensation, a vibration or pressure in the chest or abdomen. Higher frequencies, closer to the lower limit of human hearing, can cause a range of psychological effects.
The unpredictable nature of infrasound exposure makes it difficult to study and even harder to prove as a weapon. Symptoms can be vague and easily dismissed as psychosomatic. However, the potential for abuse is undeniable, and the development of infrasound weapons raises serious ethical and humanitarian concerns.
Section 4. Beyond Human Perception. One of the challenges in investigating claims of infrasound attacks is the difficulty in detecting and measuring these low-frequency sound waves. Traditional microphones and audio equipment are often not sensitive enough to pick up infrasound signals, especially at low intensities. Specialized infrasound microphones and recording devices are required to capture and analyze these low-frequency sounds. These devices use sensitive sensors and sophisticated signal processing techniques to isolate infrasound signals from background noise and other interfering frequencies. Once captured, infrasound recordings can be analyzed to determine their frequency, intensity, and duration. This information can be compared to known safe exposure levels to assess the potential for harm. However, even with advanced equipment and analysis techniques, proving intent and identifying the source of infrasound attacks can be extremely challenging. Infrasound can originate from a variety of sources, both natural and man-made. Differentiating between naturally occurring infrasound and intentionally generated infrasound requires careful analysis and consideration of the surrounding environment, potential sources, and the reported effects. Section 5. The Microwave Arsenal. Microwaves beyond visible light are used in cooking and communication, but can be weaponized. They interact with water molecules, causing rapid heating. This principle is used in microwave ovens.
The human body, mostly water, is vulnerable to microwaves. High exposure can cause burns and tissue damage.
Microwave weapons research began during the Cold War. Section 6. The Body Electric. Beyond the immediate thermal effects of high-intensity microwaves, there is growing concern about the potential for these waves to disrupt the body's delicate electrical systems. Our nervous system, responsible for transmitting signals throughout the body, relies on a complex interplay of electrical impulses.
Microwaves, being electromagnetic waves themselves, have the potential to interfere with these delicate electrical signals. Exposure to certain frequencies and intensities of microwaves could disrupt nerve impulses, leading to a range of neurological effects, including dizziness, confusion, and even seizures.
The potential for microwave weapons to induce behavioral changes is particularly concerning. Research has shown that exposure to specific microwave frequencies can influence brain activity, potentially affecting mood, cognition, and even decision-making. This raises the possibility of using microwaves for mind control or manipulation. While the idea of microwave mind control may sound like science fiction, there is a growing body of scientific evidence to suggest that it is not entirely implausible. The potential for abuse is undeniable, and the ethical implications of such technology are profound. The insidious nature of electromagnetic weapons, both infrasound and microwave, lies in their invisibility. Unlike traditional weapons that leave behind physical evidence, these weapons operate silently and invisibly, their effects easily dismissed or misdiagnosed. Victims of suspected electromagnetic attacks often face an uphill battle for recognition and treatment. Their symptoms, often vague and wide-ranging, can mimic a variety of other conditions, leading to misdiagnosis and ineffective treatment. The psychological toll of living under constant threat, with no visible enemy and no escape, can be devastating. Despite the challenges, it is crucial that we take claims of electromagnetic harassment seriously. Further research is needed to fully understand the potential effects of these weapons and to develop effective detection and protection methods. More importantly, we need to raise awareness about this issue and create a safe space for victims to come forward and share their stories without fear of ridicule or disbelief. The world around me, once a source of comfort and familiarity, now seemed alien and threatening. Nermina's days and nights became a meticulous exercise in documentation. Every twitch, every burn, every wave of nausea was carefully recorded, her notebook a testament to the invisible torment she endured. Dates and times became her anchors, a desperate attempt to impose order on the chaos that had engulfed her life.
The simplest acts of living, eating, sleeping, even thinking, became fraught with difficulty. The constant assault on my senses left me feeling drained, my body a battleground for forces I couldn't comprehend.
Late at night, when the world slept, Nermina would retreat to her computer, seeking solace in online forums, connecting with others who claimed to be victims of similar attacks. Their stories, eerily similar to her own, offered a strange comfort, a validation that she was not alone in her suffering.
These virtual communities became my lifeline, a place to share my fears, my frustrations, and my desperate search for answers. In our shared experiences, I found the strength to keep going, to keep fighting for recognition and justice.
Central to Nermina's case were the audio recordings she painstakingly collected, capturing the strange, often subtle sounds that accompanied her torment. These recordings, made using specialized equipment, offered a chilling glimpse into the world of inaudible assault. The sounds themselves were often difficult to discern, buried beneath the ambient noise of everyday life. A low hum, a high-pitched whine, a pulsing rhythm that seemed to emanate from within her own head. These were the hallmarks of her invisible tormentor. Analysis of these recordings by sound engineers and acoustic experts revealed anomalies that defied easy explanation. Frequencies outside the range of human hearing, rhythmic patterns that correlated with Nermina's reported symptoms, and directional shifts that suggested a moving source, all pointed to something deliberate, something sinister. These recordings, while disturbing, provided crucial evidence, lending credence to Nermina's claims and challenging the dismissive stance of those who would dismiss her experiences as mere delusion.
My physical symptoms were as varied as they were debilitating. My body, once a source of strength and vitality, seemed to be rebelling against me, racked with pain, fatigue, and a host of unexplained ailments. Nausea and dizziness were my constant companions, making even the simplest tasks a monumental effort. Yet through it all, a spark of defiance remained. I refused to be defined by my suffering. I would not let my tormentors break me. I would continue to fight for my health, for my sanity, for my right to live free from fear.
Beyond her meticulous record-keeping, Nermina sought to bolster her case with hard data, objective measurements that would corroborate her subjective experiences. She invested in devices to detect and measure electromagnetic fields, turning her apartment into a makeshift laboratory. The data she collected revealed patterns that were difficult to ignore, suggesting a correlation that warranted further investigation. This data added weight to her claims, challenging the skepticism that often greeted victims of invisible harassment. Armed with her documented experiences and data, Nermina embarked on a frustrating journey through the medical system, seeking validation and treatment. She encountered skepticism, her symptoms often dismissed as psychosomatic. The medical establishment seemed ill-equipped to grapple with the complexities of her case.
Yet I refused to give up hope. I knew what I was experiencing was real, and I would not rest until I found someone who believed me.
Nermina's case highlights the challenges of proving the existence and effects of electromagnetic weapons.
The scientific community remains divided, with some experts acknowledging the potential for harm, while others dismiss such claims as lacking credible evidence.
The legal system is ill-equipped to handle such cases, lacking clear frameworks for prosecuting crimes involving invisible weapons.
Despite these challenges, Nermina's case serves as a reminder that the pursuit of justice often requires pushing the boundaries of our understanding. We must challenge established norms and demand accountability even in the face of uncertainty.
Nermina's story is not isolated. Reports of suspected electromagnetic harassment have surfaced globally. The proliferation of technology, particularly in wireless communication and surveillance, raises concerns about potential abuse. The invisible nature of these attacks creates an environment of fear and uncertainty, with victims often suffering in silence. Nermina's story speaks to a larger truth about human vulnerabilities in an increasingly technologized world. To understand Nermina's case, we turn to experts from various fields.
Dr. Anna Schmidt, a physicist specializing in acoustics, studies the effects of infrasound on the human body.
Dr. David Chen, a neurologist, examines the potential for microwaves to disrupt brain function.
Dr. Sarah Cohen, a psychologist, provides insights into the psychological impact of living under constant threat.
Aisha Hassan, a human rights lawyer, explores the legal challenges of prosecuting cases involving electromagnetic weapons. These experts offer a multifaceted perspective on this disturbing phenomenon. Their insights shed light on the science, psychology, and legal implications of electromagnetic harassment. Together, they provide a comprehensive understanding of the complexities involved. Section 2, Infrasound, the Science of Silent Suffering.
Infrasound is difficult to detect and attribute to a specific source. Its low frequencies can travel long distances, making it hard to pinpoint the origin of an attack.
The human ear cannot hear infrasound, but we are not immune to its effects.
Exposure to certain frequencies can cause resonance in our organs, leading to physical symptoms.
Exposure to infrasound can cause discomfort, pain, and even tissue damage.
While more research is needed, the possibility of harm cannot be ruled out.
Section 3, Microwaves, Invisible Assault, Real Effects.
The human brain is vulnerable to electromagnetic interference. Its electrical activity can be disrupted by external electromagnetic fields.
More research is needed to establish a causal link, but these findings suggest microwave exposure could contribute to neurological abnormalities.
Short-term exposure to high levels of microwaves can cause burns and tissue damage, while long-term exposure may have subtle effects on brain function.
The potential for abuse is undeniable.
We need to take these threats seriously and invest in research to understand and mitigate the risks.
Section 4. The Psychology of Persecution.
The human mind seeks patterns and explanations for unusual experiences. When faced with inexplicable phenomena, it's natural to search for external causes.
Dr. Cohen describes targeted individual syndrome, where individuals believe they are being persecuted or harassed.
The stress of living under constant threat can exacerbate existing mental health conditions.
Dr. Cohen stresses the importance of empathy and understanding.
Dismissing their experiences as delusional can be damaging. We need to listen, validate their fears, and provide support.
My daily life has become a relentless pursuit of evidence. My surroundings are now a minefield of potential threats.
The constant vigilance takes a toll on her mental and emotional well-being.
The skepticism I encounter deepens my isolation, driving me further into online support groups.
The fear becomes all-consuming, poisoning her relationships and robbing her of her sense of safety. The question of motive looms large in Nermina's case. Who would want to target her and why? The possibilities are unsettling. The proliferation of technology has made it easier to gather information and harass individuals from afar. The very nature of electromagnetic harassment makes it the perfect crime, silent, invisible, and easily deniable. Aisha Hassan, the human rights lawyer, believes that cases like Nermina's demand a more robust response from the legal system.
The law must evolve to keep pace with technology.
She advocates for independent bodies to investigate claims of electromagnetic harassment.
The more people who are aware of this issue, the more pressure we can put on governments to take action.
Nermina's case has sparked a crucial conversation about the ethical and legal implications of emerging technologies. Despite the growing body of anecdotal evidence, the official response to electromagnetic harassment remains shrouded in silence. Governments and intelligence agencies deny their use against civilians. The lack of transparency fuels suspicion and conspiracy theories. The silence surrounding these issues is a betrayal of public trust, eroding the foundations of democratic societies. Addressing a gathering of human rights activists, Aisha Hassan delivers a powerful call to action.
The time for silence is over. We demand transparency and accountability from our governments.
Hassan's words strike a chord with the audience, many of whom have experienced the consequences of government secrecy.
We must shine a light on these clandestine activities. We must demand answers, not just for the victims, but for all citizens. The future of our democracies depends on it.
Building a legal case involving electromagnetic harassment requires a multidisciplinary approach. Evidence gathering is crucial but challenging due to the invisible nature of the attacks. Lawyers and scientists provide crucial support, analyzing data and navigating legal complexities. The courage and tenacity of the victims themselves are essential to driving these cases forward.
I have become a powerful advocate for myself and others like me. I raise awareness about electromagnetic harassment and connect with other victims.
Nermina organizes support groups, providing a safe space for victims. These groups offer a vital lifeline for individuals struggling with isolation.
I created an online resource center for victims of electromagnetic harassment. This platform provides information and support for reclaiming lives.
Nermina's journey embodies resilience and positive change. Her story is a testament to the power of one voice and community strength. The issue of electromagnetic harassment transcends national borders, with reports of suspected attacks emerging from countries around the world. This suggests a disturbing trend: the potential for widespread abuse of these technologies, whether by governments, corporations, or individuals. The lack of transparency surrounding the development and deployment of electromagnetic weapons, coupled with the difficulty in proving their use, creates an environment ripe for abuse. Victims are often left with little recourse, their claims dismissed as paranoia or mental illness, their suffering ignored by the very institutions tasked with protecting them. Addressing this global challenge requires international cooperation and a commitment to upholding human rights in the face of rapidly advancing technologies. International bodies, such as the United Nations, must play a leading role in establishing ethical guidelines for the development and use of electromagnetic weapons, as well as mechanisms for investigating alleged abuses. The proliferation of these technologies knows no borders, and neither should our efforts to prevent their misuse. Only through a coordinated global response can we hope to safeguard human rights and ensure that these powerful tools are not turned against the very people they are meant to protect. While the threat posed by electromagnetic weapons is real and concerning, it is not insurmountable. Scientists and engineers around the world are working to develop new technologies for detecting, mitigating, and even preventing the harmful effects of electromagnetic radiation. Research into advanced shielding materials, electromagnetic field detectors, and even countermeasures that could neutralize or deflect harmful radiation is ongoing. These technological advances offer hope that we can develop effective defenses against these invisible threats. However, technology alone cannot solve this problem. We must also address the ethical and legal vacuum that currently surrounds the development and deployment of electromagnetic weapons. This requires a fundamental shift in our thinking, a recognition that technological advancement must go hand in hand with a commitment to human rights and the rule of law. Education and awareness raising are essential to empowering individuals to protect themselves and to hold those in power accountable. By fostering a culture of transparency, ethical conduct, and respect for human rights, we can create a future where technology serves humanity rather than threatening it.
Nermina's story, once lost in a sea of whispers and dismissed as the ramblings of a troubled mind, has become a rallying cry for justice and accountability. Her unwavering determination to expose the truth, even in the face of overwhelming adversity, has inspired countless others to come forward, to share their own experiences, and to demand recognition and protection.
Her legacy is one of courage, resilience, and the unwavering belief in the power of truth to prevail. Her story serves as a stark reminder that the pursuit of justice often requires challenging the status quo, questioning authority, and amplifying the voices of those who have been silenced for too long.
The fight against electromagnetic harassment is far from over, but Nermina's story has ignited a spark of hope, a belief that even in the face of invisible threats, the human spirit can triumph. Her journey is a testament to the power of one voice to make a difference, to inspire change, and to leave the world a better, safer place than she found it.
Nermina Samardžic's story is a stark reminder that the battleground of the 21st century is not confined to distant lands or fought with conventional weapons. It is a battle fought in the shadows, in the silent realms of electromagnetic energy, where the human body itself becomes the target. Her ordeal exposes a chilling reality, a world where technology, intended to empower and connect us, can be twisted into a tool of oppression and control. The invisible nature of this threat makes it all the more insidious. We live in a world saturated with electromagnetic signals, a constant hum of energy that surrounds us, largely unnoticed and poorly understood. This invisibility makes it all too easy to dismiss the claims of those who say they are being targeted, to attribute their suffering to psychological distress rather than external forces. Yet the sheer number of similar accounts from individuals across the globe paints a disturbing picture. These are not isolated incidents, but rather a pattern of abuse that demands our attention. The stories of these individuals, often dismissed as the product of paranoia or delusion, deserve to be heard. Their experiences investigated with open minds and a commitment to uncovering the truth. The struggle to prove the existence and effects of electromagnetic weapons is a formidable one. It is a struggle against not only those who might wield these weapons, but also against the very nature of the technology itself, silent, invisible, and difficult to trace. It is a struggle against skepticism, disbelief, and the tendency to dismiss the unfamiliar as impossible. The silence surrounding electromagnetic harassment is deafening. Governments and corporations retreat behind secrecy, citing national security or dismissing claims. This lack of transparency fosters suspicion, fear, and mistrust. The human cost is immeasurable. Victims find themselves trapped in a nightmare. Their health deteriorates, relationships crumble, and careers are destroyed. Silence enables this abuse to continue. This is not a time for complacency, for apathy, or for blind faith in those who hold power. The fight for justice demands our collective awakening. We must demand transparency and accountability, empower individuals with knowledge and tools. The time for action is now.